are our likes, which we will hopefully get at some point.
Which at this rate will be sometime in 2017.
Yeah, but this week we are talking about a game that I am extremely fond of. You might almost say I go bananas for it.
I kind of wish this was alcohol.
Donkey Kong Country!
Yes.
The game that brought Donkey Kong back into the popular culture after years of being sidelined by Mario. Made third party, first party, sort of kind of style by Rareware. The first one they ever made for Nintendo. Right?
Yes. Rareware was not. They were never bought out by Nintendo,
Yep.
so it's not a second party thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a third party game with a first party kind of release. So yeah, it's in the middle there.
But they exclusively made games for Nintendo for the duration of the Super Nintendo and N64 days, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
except for Star Fox temperatures, but we'll get to that eventually.
Yeah. So, how did you first come to play Donkey Kong?
Well, as I've said a billion times already, I was not privileged enough to own a single video game console in my house growing up until I was pretty much already in college. And at that point, I was buying on my own. But my aunt, amazingly enough, had a Super Nintendo. And one time when my parents left for vacation, she was charged with looking after me and my little brother, William. Shout out. But we played this for the entire duration of our stay there. We basically pitched a tent in the middle of the living room, and we played the game while sitting in the tent for some reason. I think it was like to make it more immersive.
Must be pretty cramped in that small tent.
No, it was fine. It was just me and my brother, and my aunt occasionally. And we just sitting there, we just keep playing away at it, and eventually, before my parents came back to pick me up, we beat the game, and it is one of my finest achievements for my young gaming self.
And it sounds like you actually liked it.
Oh, I
Even at the time.
loved it. It's very hard not to like this game, especially if you're a fan of the entire Rareware suite of games, which makes it all the more surprising that you didn't play it until a couple of weeks ago.
I have this weird thing with Nintendo. I grew up with Nintendo. I owned first system I ever was a Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Then 1064. Then to GameCube.
Yep.
Donkey Kong Country was one of those things that I just never got the time to play because I was playing so much other stuff.
Yeah.
I just never considered it. It wasn't out of some weird dislike. But I spent so much time with Mario,
Mm-hmm.
I had no time for Donkey Kong. It's the same thing with Zelda, because a lot of my friends are like, "What do you mean you've never played a Zelda for more than half hour?" I'm
Oh
like,
my god, you plebe.
I spent so much time on Mario 64, I never even considered playing Zelda 64. Because that was my gaming life.
Yeah, and you also played a bunch of other Rareware games like Killer Instinct or...
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Oh, yeah. As far as Rare goes,
Mm-hmm.
I played almost that entire catalog. Except for this.
Except for this.
So this was a bit of a nice little throwback for me too, because I can honestly say I didn't have many expectations. I just expected it to be competent, which it very much is.
That's being kind of demeaning. This game, in my own humble opinion, is superb. It's one of the best platformers that has ever been made. I mean, well, should we get into the game itself now?
Absolutely, yeah. So the level design starts off basic, like any other platformer. You have
much.
First greeny area, first couple areas, then it starts getting varied.
Yeah,
and
your caves, your snow levels, your factory level out of nowhere, etc., etc., etc.
And they do kind of throw enough mechanics at you where you don't really get bored.
Yeah.
You have all the barrel stuff, you have the minecart stuff.
Yeah.
I want to say it's thrown at you all at once, because there's a good number of kind of general, I don't want to say generic because that's kind of a demeaning word, but general platformers, run and jump sections, and then they have, here's the minecart level, and here's the barrel level with barrels everywhere.
The minecart levels are infamous, as are the barrels, but...
I think the barrels were worse.
Yeah, the barrels were... that's debatable. I don't know.
The minecart stuff, it's timing, but it's scrolling left to right. You see an enemy, you have time to react. The battle sections where there's enemies flipping over, it's you playing counting games.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Damn it. Screwed up.
Yeah, that happens an awful lot. The bonus
we can go
too.
back all the way to the beginning of the level.
Well, that happened so many times in that one stage. But I hope we get some footage of that. But we were playing this one snow level. I forget the title already.
I erased it out of my mind.
Yeah.
I'm so traumatized.
But we must have played that level at least 24 times trying to get past it. And there's barrels spinning everywhere. And this one time, I mispress a button, and we shoot downward at an angle. And we find a secret barrel that shot us all the way to the end of the level. What?
It was like God came down and he's like, I'm sick and tired of seeing you guys screw up.
Exactly.
I am glad to say though, that mission was just a mission. That level was such a pain, but I'm very glad to say that was one of the only levels where I really felt we were struggling on. Everything else, it takes memorization, it takes timing, but I never felt like it was unfair.
Yeah.
It's just very solid. It's solid practice based. You know, like if you practice the levels, you'll get better. There's no unfair deaths or dumb controls or anything like that, which in other platformers can very well happen. No, it's a very fair, very easy to play game.
Yes.
And I'm very happy that Rare stuck to their guns for that.
Yeah, speaking of other platformers, I think it would be prudent for us to compare and contrast this to Mario. For one thing, Mario's style is very sort of flat and very pixely, whereas this game was if not the first, one of the first games to use pre-rendered sprites using 3D graphics and stuff like that.
Yep, the same technology that we'd all come to love in games like Fallout and Arcanum and stuff like that. Classic 3D models being rotated, and those are your sprites.
Exactly.
It gives it a very, it's definitely that early 90s kind of feel. The whole Goron shading. I think it's how you pronounce it, but the same thing you see in Toy Story.
I would call it Fawn. Everything kind of looks plasticky and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. It's very very Toy Story-like. Very, very, very early 90s, because there's so many games that use that style after. But it's really great looking in its own way. It's got a great palette. It's not washed out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything's very distinct.
Everything, they do sunsets in the background. They do an awful lot with various layers in front of the screen and behind the screen. They do an awful lot with that.
It's not like Sonic where the backgrounds have 5 different layers at once. But for what it is, and the fact that the actual graphics themselves are better looking, it's definitely a beautiful looking game.
Yeah,
by all means.
I don't think it's dated all that much. I think it still holds up. It's its own thing. It's its own style. There's certainly worse games out there that adopt that whole flat and fake-looking CG kind of look. But another key difference between Mario is that while both games and game series do have 2-player modes, this is different in that you can have cooperative 2-player. Which is very cool.
Which is how we played the game.
Yeah, as Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. Get ready for lots of Kongs in these games.
And it helped because what you'll see in the footage is Diddy Kong dying a million times.
Ultra Combo! We did discover that the controller that you were using for the vast majority of the gameplay did have sticky buttons, which is a thing.
Yeah.
We can blame the sticky buttons. Everything after that, however, that is on you.
Yes, it is.
What I find amusing is that when you're doing stuff like you're on the platform and stuff like that, your friend's sprite is following along behind, and frequently they will be doing the old Wile E. Coyote walking in midair animation because it can't quite keep up with where you're at, or the platform's too small or something like that.
Yeah, we ran into that. You know,
it's a little weird.
Other than a couple visual glitches, though, that's really the one problem I had.
Yeah.
But that's kind of be expected. In games have bugs.
Yeah.
You don't get over it.
And it's not like Super Mario World where both players are basically the same, because Donkey Kong has a unique move where he can sort of slap the ground, and sometimes you can get unique stuff. And Diddy Kong has the advantage in that he is faster, he can jump higher, but he can't kill big bad enemies like Donkey Kong can.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, if you're gonna do this with 2 players, you need to know your roles, kind of thing. Tag me in.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. I did like that kind of sense.
Oh, it's a great game to play with your friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, there's no fighting over points or fighting over bananas or anything like that, which is what I think I really liked about the game. It's very simplistic.
Yeah.
But I think that works in its favor. There's no time you have to worry about. There's no points you have to argue over. It's just collect bananas, get the golden animals for even more bananas and more extra lives.
All your animal buddies.
You know, you get the rideable animals, which are also incredibly fun.
Yeah, Rambi, Espresso, On Guard, Slippy.
My favorite.
Slippy. And Squawks, who only appears in 1 level in this game, but is the only animal buddy who appears in all 3 Donkey Kong Country games for some reason. Strange choice.
He's the Duncan Idaho.
Yeah.
Of Donkey Kong Country.
Who's Duncan Idaho?
From Doom. The guy who keeps like reappearing.
Oh.
Even though he dies in the first book, but they keep cloning him.
Spoiler! I still haven't finished.
So the sound's also pretty serviceable too. It's nothing like super spectacular. You know, like there's generic voice grinds and sound effects and all, but the music's actually pretty well fitting.
Yeah, the music in Rareware games is almost always outstanding. I think
the factory music, which is actually called Fear Factory, like the band, which I thought was kind of amusing. That was actually my favorite. It's a very, you know, up-tempo, E minor thing, but it sets the ambience in so well. It's like, wow, I'm not just Donkey Kong, you know, traipsing around the jungle doing whatever. I'm in a factory trying to jump from platform to platform while these evil crocodile things are trying to kill me.
Yeah.
I've always said that, like, the thing that separates the old Nintendo games for me with the newer ones is that the new ones feel like too cutesy and cartoony, and you don't really get invested. Versus the old ones, it's like in this game, wow, there's an evil pirate guy wanting to just kill everybody and move in on the land, and you have to go through
all the resources,
and you have to go through his evil factories while there's, you know, really dramatic music is playing. Like, it actually makes you feel like there's stakes at hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which
trying to get your banana horde, man.
Which for a Nintendo game you might not necessarily think of, but it does give it that little sense of dramatic urgency of like, wow, I really want to, you know, keep playing this. Yeah,
there's some other great music tracks too. I especially fond of the aquatic ambience.
Oh,
that whole thing. Yeah, you like play that track for me and like you can knock me over with a feather. I'm just completely zoned out and serene.
It's very Echo-like. I felt.
That's true.
Very relaxing, even though. You have to have relaxing music because the actual controls for any underwater section in any game are typically a little frustrating. Although it's not really this game's fault because for those levels it controls fairly well. This little thing of, I'm slightly off center, I run to a pearl, restart. Okay.
I did notice that the more difficult the level tended to be, the more soothing the music was as a way to offset the frustration.
They knew.
They absolutely knew.
Which is why the snow levels are the most relaxing music, and you'll be wanting to throw the controller at the screen over those stupid barrels.
Stupid barrels! The bosses are kind of, I realize, they're kind of a weak link in this game because palette swapping your enemies is one thing, but palette swapping the bosses is kind of
they have
come on, guys.
It's like one of the enemies is a beaver that just kind of, you know, runs around Canadian.
Yeah.
And the big boss is a giant beaver that also runs around Canadian.
No, it's the exact same size. It's just a different color. And then you have the bird, no body picture, coming in from the side. And then you have, later on in the game, the exact same bird, except he's purple, and now he chucks more nuts at you out of his mouth. What?
There were some recolors. The enemies also got that too. Remember how like the wasps are different colors, even though there's no actual gameplay difference?
Yeah, but like
we needed a wasp here instead of the green one because...
I believe there is some difference in the second game between certain enemies, but like you said, there's really not too much to justify it. It's just, different. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all you got.
It's different for the sake of being different.
Yeah, exactly.
The game really has a David Lynchian feel because of that.
You're bringing in the Dune again, aren't you?
Well, it's actually one of his worst movies.
Yeah.
But actually, as far as the surreality of it, I did think it was amusing that one of the bosses is a giant barrel.
Oh, yeah. There's more enemies at you.
Which kind of focuses like a salt shaker. Just, you know, kind of shaking enemies out. And I'm like, really? There's no other design room for a barrel.
It's really sad. They get better in the other games.
4 wasp varieties. And they ran out of, like, creative ideas. It's a barrel with a skull and crossbones on it. It's like, it's dangerous. I'm like, come on, guys.
They did throw in a giant bee enemy as well, and he was fairly challenging.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the game is just, you've got 4 bosses, and they're basically 2. So, whatever.
And the final boss fight, King K. Rool, which is a very, very good boss fight.
Mm-hmm.
But oh my god, that is a timing nightmare.
Yep, you need to memorize that stuff, and you need to be, I wouldn't say pixel perfect. It's certainly not I want to be the guy or anything like that.
No, it's not like, it's not the worst thing in the world or anything, but it's very clearly meant to be the last boss fight, the most challenging part of the game. Yet they kind of use the movement skills that you've acquired throughout the rest of the game to succeed.
Yeah.
And there's a section where the stupid cannonballs keep falling down, and if you're not 1 pixel off, but if you're a few milliseconds off, you're dead, which is one of the reasons why the cooperative mode really comes in handy.
Yes.
Because you died and I was able to take over, or I died and you were able to take over.
Or you do one section which you're really good at, then you tag me in for the section that I'm much better at.
Exactly. It kind of makes you think that the game is really designed for 2 people, and you're kind of selling yourself short if you only do it with 1 person.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but I kind of wanted with that, because it was just so enjoyable doing it with 2 people. But there were definitely some moments where I'm like, if Peter wasn't here, I was doing this on my own, I'd be very frustrated.
Yeah, it's the audience factor thing. It's the encouragement that you give each other to continue on with the activity. And I would have liked to have that kind of stuff on other games we reviewed. But getting back to...
Yeah, definitely.
We're not talking about that.
You could probably beat the whole game in about 6 hours, but you'll probably spend another 18 hours trying to get everything down. And at that point, you really max the game's life out, which I'm definitely comfortable saying that, people should buy it.
Yeah.
Or if they do, they'll have a lot of fun, unless they don't like platformers.
I think they can warm to it if they don't like platformers. Maybe they just haven't been sold entirely on it, because this is probably one of the more fun ones that's ever been made.
Really?
Yeah. I would say if for some reason you don't like a platformer, give this game a try. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As someone who just walked into Donkey Kong Country completely blind.
Yeah.
I knew nothing about the game beforehand, except that it had Donkey Kong, and that's where King K. Rool was introduced.
Mm-hmm. And that's why they won't stop complaining about him for Smash.
and Diddy Kong was the other one they won't stop complaining about for Smash for a different reason.
Yes.
I can say, honestly, I had a ton of fun with it.
Yeah.
It was very, very entertaining to play, even on my own time. Just messing around offhand. Single player, I had a great time. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. I will say, if you are going to go for those secrets, I would recommend that if you're having trouble finding them, consult a game FAQ, because the in-game help system is no help whatsoever. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's just Cranky Kong.
Cranky Kong!
And all he does is whine and complain. He's like, here's one secret out of like 50. Have fun.
Yeah, no kidding. Back in my day, we only had 2 frames of animation, and we loved it. 3 lives, no continues.
The other thing I'm using is that Cranky Kong is always visited at the same exact hut in the exact same jungle, no matter the actual overworld that you're in.
Yeah, so if you're in the factory or you're in the snow...
Yeah. Cranky Kong, how did a jungle get into the inside of this mountain?
How does a time capsule? Or, no, it's a TARDIS. I'm a Time Lord, you idiot. How do you think I get so sold?
If you like platformers, if you like Nintendo at all,
if you like Rare,
if you're like me and somehow you just missed out on a big chunk of Nintendo's franchises, I would definitely pick it up and play it. I think that most people, even with single player, would have a lot of fun. I said earlier that I'd be very frustrated. I just kind of suck at the game. But, a confident person should easily have a lot of fun with this. And if you have a friend, it makes it twice as good.
I absolutely agree. Yeah. I would say I had just as much fun with this game now as I did back when I was a kid. And I would absolutely 100% recommend it to anybody, ages 3 to 300, basically. Yeah. If you have robotic arms, because by the age 300, you're basically a corpse. So... where was I going with this? Donkey Kong Country.
If you're done tanking the segment.
I can try harder.
I know you can, which I was being sarcastic. But yep, there's really no nostalgia filter you need here at all.
Nope.
I don't think so.
Goggles off, everybody. Yeah, beautiful. next time we talk about something.
We should probably stop actually giving away what we're talking about.
Yeah, because then I really shoot myself in the foot, don't I?
Yeah.